rough?
It was no, it was never rough. I can say it was never rough. You know, it was because when I first laid eyes on this man, I knew that this would happen. You know, I knew that this was it. You know, and so I had faith in the whole situation, and it worked.
When did you first get the idea to have your own band?
The Red Bank Rockers. They came about, well, Bruce usually takes a long time in between albums. So in between the second and third album, there was a real long period of time we did nothing but go crazy. And so the next break was 2 years. I said, I'm going to do something. So I went out, I bought a club called Big Man's West in Red Bank, New Jersey. It's a nice rock and roll club. It was great. It was beautiful. It had a nice stage, nice lights. And I was saying, wow, man, I got everything except for my own band. I should have my band play on that stage. And so I went out and called these guys up, and we started to play there twice a week. And then we got invited to play in New York City, and so that's when it all started. You know, the record company heard us. They liked it and says, hey, you should sign. So I signed the band and did an album, and I'm in the process of doing another album now. So.
Is that right? Excuse my ignorance. I'm very familiar with the album, but not very familiar with the credits. Who was doing the vocals on that?
John Bowen.
He was an old friend of yours?
He was an old friend of mine. Johnny was one of the guys in the Vibratones when I was back in college.
Is that right?
Yeah. So, because I told Johnny, I said, Johnny, one of these days we're gonna do an album together, man. You know, one of these we're gonna have a big hit. You know, this is back when I was in college. I'm talking 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was so funny when I left college. I left Johnny, I left the band, and I moved to New Jersey. And I went out to this club one night, and I heard this voice, man. And I said, it's in the back room. You know, this band was playing back there. And I said, that's got to be Johnny. You know, I know that's Johnny. Somebody sounds just like Johnny. I walked in. This was like we're talking 8 years later, and there he was, Johnny Bowen, singing in this band in New Jersey. And I was living in New Jersey, and because we kept bumping into each other. Then we left each other again, and a few years later we bumped into each other again in another club. We were still trying to get together. So finally, when I got my band together, I knew where he was, and I called him in to do the vocals.
Oh, because it's, you know, the band itself's amazing, but, you know, the vocals just blew me away.
Yeah.
What is that guy doing now? Is he singing in various bands?
No, I don't. I'm trying to get him a deal.
Is that right?
This time I'm doing my own singing on my album, my new album. This is my album this time, and but you know, trying to get him to sign is impossible.
Why is that, David?
Because there's no market for soul music. You see, that guy started it back there in that time. If he had left it alone, it would have been fine.
Did you guys sound like that back then?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's amazing, because I mean, that it's on a par with, you know, the greatest of Stax. It's on a par with Wilson Pickett, Otis Redding.
Definitely.
Oh, that's amazing. And this guy can't even get a deal now.
He can't get a job. It's amazing.
I think there's a lot of guys like that around?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Why does a guy like that not make it, and why does a guy like, say, an Otis Redding or Wilson Pickett make it?
This is timing. It was new then. Now he sings too good. He sings too good. You know.
Maybe it's a bit too fierce for people. They like something a little bit more laid back.
Yeah.
And so tell me about the new album. You're going to be doing the singing on it.
Yeah, I'm doing the singing. Nada is producing some stuff.
Who is?
Nada, Michael.
Nada.
Yeah.
Nada.
And Michael Johnson is producing some stuff. You know Michael Johnson?
Doesn't ring a bell.
Michael Johnson produced Peter Wolf's last album. Co-produced this stuff.
Okay.
And Arthur Baker is producing one song. And who else? Well, I'm trying to talk Bruce into doing this one song. So it's quite a. I'm 2/3 through with it, and it's coming out real good. I'm real happy about the way I'm singing now. You know, when you first sing for the first time, you kind of self-conscious about the way you sound, you know. And but now I'm really happy about the way I sound, and it's coming out real good.
When do you plan to have it finished?
September. It'll be a September release.
A September release.
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna have time for that? I heard the tour is gonna go on for like another 3-4 months.
Well, I'm a workaholic, you know, and during this time off, I do other things. I'm going to finish this album when I go home now in May. We got the month of May off, and I'll finish the album and do the video and get the album covers and stuff all done. And so we'll be ready for September release.
I suppose you're gonna have a long break this time because I mean, you know, the album, you know, Born in the USA is a monster. You know, it's still #3 after, you know, 5 decades on the charts. The tour is going on forever. I think you guys are gonna have like a 3-year interval, right? 2 or 3 years.
I doubt it.
Really?
Because, you know, as soon as my album comes out, I'm going back on the road again with my band.
Yeah, I mean the E Street Band.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Is that right?
I don't see it that way this time. I don't think he may be a year and a half or 2 years, but it won't be 3 years again. Yeah.
It must seem like a lifetime commitment, you know, because there's just no way you
Well,
can,
it is.
you can see the band ending.
It is. You know, this is forever. You know, as long as there's as long as you're happy, as long as everybody's happy, it'll go on. You know, and as long as you're having fun, and I can't not see you not having fun with this band. You know?
What do you think causes a great band to end, though? I mean, as many have in the past, you know, bands come and go. What do you think causes you?
I don't know. I guess people expect something they're not getting out of it, you know. And but in this band, you know what you're getting, you know what you're putting in, and it's that way, you know. Sometimes people have other anticipations and which are not met. And, that's what causes bands to break up, I guess. You know, you expect something more than what you. We don't have that problem.
You said there's not much of a market for the raw type of soul you were making, but your last album did very well. So obviously something.
It did not as good as I anticipated. It did pretty good, but it was not only just soul music or just R&B. It did have a little crossing kind of thing. It wasn't strictly R&B sound. Johnny's voice made it very R&B sounding. You know, here I am falling into that trap. You know, so, but the concept was a little more rock and roll than the strict code R&B.
What's the tour going to be like? You say from September going around the road.
Well, I don't know yet. We haven't set it up, but it won't be a very long tour. I want to go out and play for my friends, and I want to come back here. And I want to go to Australia, you know, and we're not playing big venues like we're doing now. I really love playing small clubs, you know. But even playing with Bruce in a place like we're playing now, it feels like a small club, you know.
It felt like a small club.
Yeah, it feels like, because you still get that, there's so much energy there, you know, it fills up the place. But I like... I also like the smaller venues, which I can never ever play again with Bruce.
Yeah.
You know,
I think there'd be mock.
Yeah, it would be disastrous for him to even attempt to play a small club again. You know, but I still have the possibility, the capability of doing that.
What would your show be like? I mean, I can't see you playing music that intense for 4 hours. Not without falling flat on stage.
Well, you know, we have a very, very high energy show. It's some people have said it was as intense, but not as long. Not as long. My shows usually run 2 hours, an hour and 45 minutes.
Which would be exhausting right there.
Yeah,
that's
that's
really intense music.
That's you know, that's pretty intense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have quite as much to say as he does.
He's got a lot of ballads, you know, a little balance.
Yeah.
What kind of people are you going to be taking on the road with you?
Well, I hope to take David Sanchez,
Is that right?
Narda, and
Is that right?
Booker T from Booker T and the MGs.
Who from
Booker T.
Oh, Booker T.
Yeah,
Is
he's
that right?
playing on the album.
All-star band.
Yeah, you know, and because we had such a wonderful experience in the studio recording these tracks, and it was just it was an experience. That's what it was. And the joy that went into these tracks was just unbelievable. And